Well, hello there, Kansas City. Stephen St. John here for a very short, abbreviated episode of Hot Mic with SSJ. I'm having trouble with my sinuses and allergies and some other bullshit. I've been sick on and off for the past 3 weeks, and I don't know what the fuck is wrong. So I have no co-host, I have no guest. You just have me for about 20 minutes or so, so I'm going to get some shit off my chest, and then we will move on and reconvene next week. But I do want to thank our wonderful sponsors, Patrick Carter, KCFarmersAgent.com. If you are looking for a great insurance agent, especially when you're looking local, you want someone local that knows Kansas City and that knows you, knows the community, you want Patrick Carter, KCFarmersAgent.com. He kicks ass. Literally, he will kick your ass. And so Patrick Carter, KCFarmersAgent.com. Also, CBD American Shaman. Go to CBDAmericanShaman.com and look at their wonderful line of products, including vapes and edibles and all kinds of good shit that'll make you feel better about yourself and the world that we live in. And when you consume the wonderful products from CBD American Shaman, this podcast sounds and looks better, so please do it. And also, our good friends at KC Grilling Company, brand new addition to the family here at Hot Mic with SSJ. And so I want to remind you that KC Grilling Company is located in Olathe at 159th and Merlin, and they have everything for your backyard barbecue project. They have a professional staff of award-winning pitmasters. They can answer any of your barbecue questions. I got a smoker there, and I'm very excited to start using it this summer. You can stop by and check out KC Grilling Company or go online, kcgrillingco.com. That's kcgrillingco.com. Okay, first things first. One of the most popular guests that we've had on the podcast over the last several months, of course, is my former producer, Jake Gutierrez, who abruptly left Union Broadcasting and Sports Radio 810 and Kansas City. He moved into a fucking cabin in Colorado. No one is totally sure why. We've had some updates from him via Zoom. It looks very Unabomber-ish to me. But that's not for me to say. But he likes to wear hoods and sunglasses and has a long beard, whatever. The same could be said for me, really. So Jake moved to a cabin and is completing his book, writing his book. We've been patiently waiting for since the Chiefs-Buccaneers Super Bowl when he left work for a month to write the book. It's now going to be finished. And he actually has a website you can go to, samuraiofsoul.com, samuraiofsoul.com, where you can reserve a copy of Jake's book. And so we're very excited to get our hands on this. If he mentioned me in this book, it better be in a really fucking favorable light, or I will sue him. And that is not a joke. And so the point is, Lance Sandage is my attorney. So, Lance, if you're out there, be ready to file a lawsuit. Anyway, Jake is finishing his book, and he is going to be in studio with us in a couple of weeks as a special guest to update us on his life, how the book looks, and now that it's completed, and everything else that he's doing. And so we thought, because everywhere I go, I'll get someone that comes up to me that listens to the show and they'll ask me, hey, where's Jake? Or how is Jake? Was all that shit really true? Does he really think that Paul McCartney died 40 years ago? Does he really not believe the Titanic sank? Is he really never going to pay taxes again? Does he really not believe his birth certificate is legit? Does he really drink his own piss? A lot of questions are asked to me. I don't know the answers to any of them. And so we have set up an email, hotmic at 810WHB.com, HOTMIC, hotmic at 810WHB.com, AJA, Ask Jake Anything, hotmic at 810WHB.com. Submit your questions for Jake I cannot guarantee you he will answer every one of them. I cannot guarantee you that I will ask every one of them, but I'll do my best. And if you have questions about Jake, what he's doing, whether he can really talk to the dead, whether he can truly levitate, as he's a lot of, what else has he said he fucking does? I don't know. A lot of shit he says. And so if you have any questions about any of these very bold claims, wild claims that he's made here on Hot Mic with SSJ, we encourage you to submit your questions to the email address hotmic@810whp.com. I'll pick out the 5 best questions, and I'll hook you up maybe with a gift card to CBD American Shaman or Casey Grilling Company. We'll hook you up. We'll take care. I can't give you free insurance, or Patrick Carter will say, "Fuck this. That's not what I signed up for." But I can get you a gift card. There's no gift card for insurance, but I can get you a gift card, maybe to Casey Grilling Company or CBD American Shaman. I'll pick the 5 best ones. Okay, and so anything that you wanted to ask, and here's the other important thing to come out of this: quit fucking asking me, because I don't know. And when I go to her, hey, come here, I got one thing to ask you. Well, what about Jake? Fuck, I don't know. He's in Colorado. You saw the podcast where I was on there with him. I don't know what the fuck was going on. I was blindsided by everything. So he left. But what I can report to you is he's doing well. He is still up to some bizarre shit. I believe he's still a citizen. See, that's a great question. Jake, are you a citizen of the United States? I don't know what he'll answer to that. Jake, do you drink your own urine? Okay, I don't know what he's gonna say. Are you a piss breath? I don't know what he's gonna say. You ask him. Those are good questions. I'm just giving you a couple right there. You can take credit for them. hotmic@810whp.com and ask the questions. We'll pick out the 5 best and make us laugh or whatever else. Or if they're really good deep questions, ask him about communicating with the great beyond, all kinds of shit. Okay, talking to animals. I think he does that shit too. Whatever. And so submit your questions, and he'll be in studio in a week or two, and I'll ask him. We'll spend hours, as long as it takes to get through all of them, and I'll ask him all these questions, and we'll get them answered, and I'll ask questions of my own. So again, if you want to reserve his book, go to samuraiofsoul.com, which I believe is legitimate. I don't think he's trying to hack into your system, but who knows? There's parts there for blogs, and it says May 1st blog coming soon, May 3rd blog coming soon, May 5th blog coming soon. Jake, I'm going to go ahead and give you some advice. Maybe let's not promote that the blog is coming soon when it's already a month past. And so I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and tell you those blogs are not coming soon, because the book took a couple of years. And so maybe that's strike one on this website here. But then there's a nice bio from Jake talking about who he is, a very nice picture of him smiling. samuraiofsoul.com to reserve the book. I've done my part to promote this mysterious book. I don't even know what's in it. And so don't blame me. And then ask Jake anything. Submit your questions to the email address, hotmic@810whb.com. Okay, a couple things besides that I wanted to talk about in this very short, abbreviated episode of Hot Mic with SSJ. Number one, I went to see Top Gun Maverick. I was excited, although I wasn't as excited, I think, as everyone else, every other, child of the 80s. Because I was, when this movie came out, I would have been 13 years old, going on 13 years old in 86. I turned 14 at the end of 86. And so, I was right in my wheelhouse. And I loved it. I love the soundtrack. I love Danger Zone by Kenny Loggins. I love Take My Breath Away by Berlin, which won an Academy Award. All of it. It was great. But my wife was a lot more excited about this. And not so much for Tom Cruise. She's always been in love with Val Kilmer, as long as I've known her. From Top Gun, of course. She loved him. Tombstone, his role in Tombstone drove her wild. And so she was excited to see this. One thing we did in anticipation of going to see this Top Gun sequel is we watched a documentary about Val Kilmer, and I would encourage you to watch it. It was made in 2021. It's called Val, and for people that don't know, he's had a battle with throat cancer. And if you've seen the movie, you know that they worked that into the script, right? But it's true, and he can no longer really talk or anything like that, and he doesn't act in movies really much. And so this documentary, he has a bunch of footage from behind the scenes of a bunch of the movies he was in, including Top Gun. Some really interesting, cool shit. He was one of those guys. We all have one of those, people in the past that always had a camcorder and recording shit. I guess he did that on all the movie sets. And so it's like a walk through his career and the movies that he did behind the scenes, footage that he said he had never even looked at. He's had it in a box somewhere, and he pulled out, so you know what? I'm going to share this with people. And so, but he couldn't narrate the documentary, so he has his son narrating the documentary, and he thought this was there would be a great way to connect with his son and his daughter and to show them about his life and his career. I will say this: it's very sad. It's really it's somewhat somber, but it's very interesting if you like Val Kilmer. So we watched that, and so we kind of knew what to expect from Val Kilmer, and we were wondering how will they incorporate this into the storyline. I'm going to assume anyone that's listening to this point, you've already seen Top Gun Maverick, so don't start any shit. Spoilers! Yeah, spoiler alert. So in the movie, Iceman is sick. Right? But you see he's like a fucking is he a commander? He's a commander, whatever, okay? I don't know all the terms. But anyway, he's big shit in Top Gun, the sequel. But they don't exactly tell you what he's battling, but I think he's, battling cancer and he can't really talk. And he makes he's in one scene, and if you know the backstory to Val Kilmer, what he's really gone through, and you see this, it's extremely touching and well done. And then he, of course, passes away in the movie. Iceman passes away. But, and they were like a little teary-eyed, and my wife was crying. And I said, hey, Val Kilmer's still alive. Iceman is dead, but I'm sorry. And so that was one of the things that I really liked about the movie, because it was, Val Kilmer is talked about, or at least addressed in the documentary about, how he wishes he could still act and be in the movie, still have his voice, and he feels like he could have done some of his best work now in the later stages of his career. So I was glad that Tom Cruise found a way to incorporate Val Kilmer and Iceman into this movie, and the way they did it I thought was very classy and awesome, and Val Kilmer got his scene in the movie, and it was great. And he was played a pivotal role in the movie, and so that was a big thumbs up. If you're a Val Kilmer fan, I like that very much. The rest of the movie I thought was really, really good. It was tremendous action scenes, edge of your seat stuff. I liked a lot of the characters, especially the new characters in it. I'm a fan of Miles Teller. I thought he was great as Rooster, Goose's son with the fucking mustache. And if he doesn't show you that mustaches should be brought back and more prominent in our day and age, I don't know what else I could tell you. He had a very strong standalone mustache. I can't have that because I got too fat of a face, and it doesn't look right on me. So I got a full beard, but very good mustache for Miles Teller. But I was excited to see a couple of the new characters. Phoenix was played by Monica Barbaro, and Glenn Powell played Hangman. Glenn Powell should be a fucking star because he was a big dick in this movie, and he kind of took on the dickish antagonist that Val Kilmer was in the original Top Gun, and he did it very well. But he's got the looks, he's got the attitude, and I had a chance to interview Monica Barbaro and Glenn Powell at the Super Bowl a couple of years ago before the Chiefs played the 49ers. That's how long this thing's been waiting on the fucking shelf to come out, and they were awesome. And so I interviewed them 2 years ago, and I wanted to see, what role they were going to play in the movies. And I thought they were both great. And the other person that I thought was really, really good in the movie was Jennifer Connelly. And man, does she look great. I love Jennifer Connelly. And I saw someone, I'll steal this joke from Twitter. Someone said Yeah, people are saying that Top Gun is nothing but propaganda. I agree, because I was taking a propaganda Jennifer Connelly up on the screen, wasn't I? Get it? Propaganda? Yeah. Ben thought it was funny. I thought it made me laugh out. It's not my joke. I stole it, but I thought it was good. But I thought she was awesome. The movie, double thumbs up, especially for anyone in my age range of 45 to 55 years old. If you lived it and you went and seen the first Top Gun and you loved it, you're gonna love this one. Do you have to watch the first Top Gun to enjoy this one? I took my son Phil and my daughters. They had no idea what the fuck was going on, but they liked the movie. But now they want to go back and watch the first Top Gun, so we'll probably do that. But I think you can enjoy this movie, especially the action sequences. And they have great actors like John Hamm and Ed Harris. Underutilized Ed Harris. He's only like in a fucking scene or two. You got Ed Harris in this movie, put him back on the screen. So that was our only complaint right there. Good movie. I don't know how I feel about the new theme from Lady Gaga. I wish they would have brought back Take My Breath Away from Berlin. They did have Kenny Loggins and Danger Zone start off the movie, which gave you a rush of adrenaline right at the beginning when you hear Danger Zone. Side note, Kenny Loggins recorded a new version of Danger Zone and offered it to the movie, and they said no thank you, and he got mad. Here's the deal, Kenny Loggins. I'm sorry, but no one wants to fucking hear you sing Danger Zone now. Because I haven't heard the new fucking version of it, but I'm going to guess it's not fucking good. Okay? Kind of like one of those things when you go see a popular band and they have not had a hit in 20 or 30 years, and they, hey, now it's time for a couple of songs off our new CD. You go into the fucking bathroom. Time to take a shit or go get some fucking popcorn or do both, whatever. I don't want to hear that shit. I came here for the hits. Kenny Loggins, I appreciate it. We don't need to hear the fucking Danger Zone remix. We want to hear the original one. And we thank you for making every song of every movie in the 1980s, but glad they did not use the new, and I'm not even going to, I might go listen to that after this podcast, whatever new version, but whatever it is, it can't be fucking good. Kenny Loggins is 70-some years old, and I don't want to hear him at that age singing Danger Zone now. I don't think it'll fit. So anyway, double thumbs up on Top Gun. A couple of other things that I want to mention that I'm excited about. Okay, so I told you my wife is through the roof, excited about the new Top Gun. Here's the movie I've been waiting for, probably for my whole fucking life. You guys know, anyone that knows me knows I love Elvis. My mother loved Elvis. I was raised an Elvis fan. I was an Elvis impersonator when I was a kid. In high school for a talent show, I lip synced 4 songs in full Elvis gear to Aloha from Hawaii, his famous iconic concert. And so I made a couple of pilgrimages to Graceland. We went to Graceland for the year anniversary of his death back in 1978. I took my sons there. It's weird. I got a lot of Elvis shit. I got a lot of Elvis books. I did a lot of book reports about how Elvis could still be alive until my teachers told me, stop fucking doing your book reports about Elvis being alive. So then I started doing book reports about who really shot JFK. I had a lot of issues when I was a kid. Those are the 2 things I like to talk about and read about and write about. And so I'm going off topic, whatever. So the Elvis movie is coming out June 24th. And it's Baz Luhrmann, who directed Moulin Rouge, which oddly enough is my wife's favorite movie of all time. He's the director, so it's going to be a musical spectacle, spectacular. Austin Butler plays Elvis. I was very skeptical about him playing Elvis. One of the guys that was up for the role is Harry Styles, and my daughter's all pissed off that he didn't get the role because she loves Harry Styles, but whatever. And Harry Styles also impersonated Elvis when he was a kid, so maybe he deserved the role. But from what I'm looking at, Austin Butler did a great job. Tom Hanks plays Colonel Tom Parker, and in some of the previews, he kind of sounds like he kind of sounds like Goldmember from Austin Powers. Remember Goldmember? He used to eat his own skin, and very nice, yes, yeah. So it's like, I don't know if I can take this fucking serious because he sounds like Goldmember, and he looks like Colonel Tom Parker, but that's what it is. So whatever. It's Tom Hanks. He's a multi-Academy Award winner. Who am I to say what his accent should be? And so when I saw the preview for this thing, I was almost in tears. I will shit you not. It looks so good to me. And it goes from, Elvis as a kid, young Elvis, all the way to old Elvis, Elvis on Painkillers, all this shit. It looks so good, and I have such high expectations that I know I'm going to be let down. It's 2 hours and 38 minutes. I'll fucking go see this movie 4 or 5 times at the movie theater. I don't care. I cannot wait. I will do a solo podcast after I see this movie for the first time on June 24th. I cannot wait. And now they've got a big soundtrack where all these different people have contributed and done Elvis songs. Jack White, who's one of my favorite living performers, he's on the soundtrack. And so I can't wait for it. It's a companion to the movie. Oh, I can't wait for this thing. It's going to be awesome. And so June 24th, that comes out. And I was also further enthused by this because Priscilla Presley, and then especially Lisa Marie, he really doesn't talk very much and is not very present on social media, especially since her son tragically passed away. She did these long posts and said she saw the movie, and she says it's finally something that pays the proper tribute to her dad and her family, and they capture the essence of Elvis. And so Priscilla was totally behind it. She loves it. Lisa Marie loves it. And everyone that was close to Elvis, they love it. And they say, yeah, they nailed it. Home run, out of the park. If you don't like Elvis, then don't bitch about it. Don't go see it. Fuck it, okay? But if you like Elvis or love Elvis, this looks like a movie that's going to be awesome. And I can't wait. And I just don't want to be let down. I don't want to be disappointed, but it's going to be 2 hours, 2.5 hours of Elvis. So how can I be disappointed? And so we'll do a podcast after that. And so June 24th, circle your calendars. Go watch the trailer right now on YouTube. Just put an Elvis trailer. You watch it and tell me that doesn't get you fired up, okay? So there's what I'm looking forward to in the movies. And then also coming up, what I've been watching on the TV that I wanted to mention real quick. Number one, we have finished a couple of TV shows we were watching. Lincoln Lawyer on Netflix. I will recommend that. Although some people got pissed off because the title character Mickey Holler from the books, the Lincoln Lawyer books, he's now Mexican American in this series. But that's what I like about it because I'm Mexican American. So now I can identify with Lincoln Lawyer, and I loved it. The Matthew McConaughey movie, I liked it. I didn't love it. I liked the TV series better. I think it was 8 episodes. We already finished, or 10. We already finished the first season, and so Lincoln Lawyer on Netflix, and so watch that. The other thing that we finished watching, it's weird. It's on a new channel called Freevee, but you can get it through Amazon Prime. You guys have heard me talk about one of my favorite TV shows, Bosch, about Harry Bosch. The series of novels by the same author, Michael Connelly, that wrote Lincoln Lawyer, right? Same universe. But Bosch, played by the wonderful actor Titus Welliver. I love this fucking show. And you should go back and watch Bosch. I think it was 5 or 6 seasons. Love it. LAPD, homicide detective. You know what? It's yeah, maybe it's like Law and Order if they can cuss and there's sex and more violence. But it's great. And I think Titus Welliver as Harry Bosch is one of my favorite characters ever in TV, probably top 10 or top 15. Number 1, of course, Tony Soprano, played by the late great James Gandolfini. But Harry Bosch, played by Titus Welliver, he might be in my top 10, top 15 for sure. Anyway, there's a spinoff called Bosch Legacy, where he's quit the LAPD and now he's a private investigator, and he kind of works for Honey Chandler, who's played by Mimi Rogers, ex-wife of Tom Cruise, who of course was in Top Gun Mavericks. Yeah, I bring this shit full circle for you. But were they really married, or was that just a thing that the Church of Scientology put together to fool us? I don't know. I don't want that church on my ass. I've seen the documentary, so I take that back. Let's go back to Mimi Rogers as Honey Chandler, and then so then she's in it, and she's because she was a character in the Bosch TV series, and then his daughter Maddie, who he calls Mads, she's now a rookie LA cop, and so it's just more of Bosch being a fucking badass and fucking people up and solving shit as a private investigator and saying fuck you to the system, because that's what I like. So watch that. It's on Freevee. It's gone through 10 episodes. First season's done, but you watch it through Amazon Prime. So hopefully that's not too confusing. Now, the other thing I'll tell you to watch on Paramount Plus, I know I think there's already 7 or 8 episodes out. I'm only made it to the first 3 episodes, but I fucking love it. It's called The Offer, and it's about the story of how the movie The Godfather was made. And Miles Teller, who played Goose's son, Rooster, in Top Gun Maverick, he's the star of The Offer again, bringing it full circle because I'm a fucking professional. So you watch this. He is a he works as a programmer, and his neighbor is a TV writer for TV shows, and his name's Al Ruddy. And he goes to a Hollywood party that his neighbor invites him to, and he's around it, and it's at the Chateau Marmont, and he meets the lady that owns it, and they fall in love, whatever. This sounds stupid, but he decides he wants to get into Hollywood, into TV or into film. And so him and another guy that he meets, they end up going and presenting a pitch to some executives, and they pitch an idea that ends up becoming Hogan's Heroes, which was one of my dad's favorite TV shows when I was a kid that it would make me watch, and I'll be honest, I fucking hated it. Except for when, shows, I see nothing. I like that, but other than that, I didn't want to fucking watch it. And so that's how he gets his foot in the door. But it's also the high-powered movie mogul producer, Bob Evans. Watch that documentary. This guy was fucking all over the place, literally. What I mean when I say that. And he was at that point was dating Ally McGraw and gave her the role in the movie Love Story, the classic movie, the Ryan O'Neal. But anyway, it's a behind the scenes of how so then Mario Puzo, who wrote The Godfather, is a struggling author who can't sell any of his books, and then somehow comes up with the idea to write a book about the mafia, The Godfather. Right? And then it gets optioned by Paramount. They pick it up. And so, long story short, Al Ruddy, Bob Evans puts him to be the producer of The Godfather to try to get it made through all these obstacles. And so far, it's awesome. And it's about how they decide that they want Al Pacino to be Michael, but nobody in the studio wants him because he's an unknown. And this unknown actor, they got to play Al Pacino. It's fucking creepy because it's like a young Al Pacino. I haven't got to the point in the series where Brando comes in, but they're battling to try to get, Marlon Brando to be the Godfather in the movie. The New York Mafia, they're pissed off because they really don't want this movie to come out because they think it'll make the mob look bad or Italians look bad. And so, it kind of chronicles through that. Joe Colombo he's one of the heads of the families that doesn't want this movie made until he kind of makes a deal with Ruddy. You have to watch that. And then Frank Sinatra, the guy that got to play Frank Sinatra, I thought was fucking terrible. Doesn't look like him, doesn't talk like him, but again, whatever. It can't be perfect. But anyway, Sinatra's all pissed off because, there's a character that we all remember in The Godfather that is kind of a crying, whining, sniveling, singer that shows up at, Connie's wedding. Remember Johnny Fontaine? And then, The Godfather tells him to be a fucking man. And so he wants that role in the movie. And they, that leads to the horse's head in the fucking producer's bed. You know what I'm talking about. But anyway, Sinatra was pissed off because he didn't like that character and thought it was him, and it made him look bad. And so he's trying to get the movie, or trying to get the movie stopped from being made. All this stuff. And it sounds that maybe doesn't sound great as a TV show, but it's incredible. And I like it because I respect the history of Hollywood, and I love seeing about how things worked back then and how they made these movies. And so if you like The Godfather, if you like stories about old Hollywood, it's really, really fucking interesting. We've loved it so far. Like I said, we're 3 episodes in. It's called The Offer on Paramount Plus, and I think if you watch it, you'll like it. And it's crazy about how close so many times The Godfather came to not being made, and how many people were against it, and how many people were against Al Pacino playing Michael, and they wanted Ryan O'Neal to fucking play Michael. What the fuck? Danny Thomas wanted to be the Godfather, wanted to be Don Corleone. That would have been shit. And so it's very, very interesting. And we're 3 episodes in, so that is my other recommendation for you to watch, The Offer on Paramount Plus. I'm all talked out. Ben acts like I'm fucking crazy because I'm going off on all these fucking rants about everything that I watch, but I love it. I'm passionate about these things, and that's why hopefully you listen to this podcast and you watch it. Don't forget to download the podcast anywhere you listen to your favorite podcast, Spotify, Apple, whatever. Also, you can subscribe, like and subscribe to all that stuff on YouTube. We appreciate that. The more that you subscribe and the more that you listen, the more the download, then maybe we can up this thing to 2 episodes a week. But I'm going to have to get more money from that, Ben. I'm fucking doing it for the same thing, all right? That's right. Ben says yes. Line our pockets. Like, subscribe, be a part of the family. And who knows, maybe someday I'll pull you right out of there and put you in the studio and you could be a guest on Hot Mic with SSJ. Don't forget, submit your questions. Ask Jake anything for an upcoming episode. Send your questions to Hot Mic, HOTMIC, Hot Mic at 810WHB.com. Until next episode, I think I'm going to take a Valium. My name's Stephen St. John, and the microphone is off.
Hello there, it is me. I am totally Stephen St. John, and this is my counterpart, Nate Bucati. Listen to the Border Patrol every weekday morning with me, totally Stephen St. John, and this, Nathaniel Bucata.
Well said.